Hey everyone, it's Monique Renewed. Welcome back to my channel. Oh my gosh, it's been such a long time. Well, it's only been like 3 months. I ain't got my microphone like always. Oh my gosh, ain't nothing changed over here. I still forget my microphone every time. That's too funny. Okay, a few things did change though. Okay, before I start getting into the swing of things, I thought I'd give you guys an update. First of all, we reached 1K subscribers. Yeah! It only took 2 years. But it's all good. It's all good. But thank you guys for all your love, your support, your sweet comments, leaving comments under my videos, still say I miss you. Where are the videos? Where are the advice videos? I was like, oh my gosh. Yeah, all 3 I miss me. Anyway, I got some coffee. Get you some tea, some water. Sit down with me. Let's have a talk. Sis. And let me tell you what's been going on. A lot has changed since, well, even during when I was making videos, a lot has changed. As you can see by my background, I'm in a new house. Thank the Lord. First of all, we're going to thank God. We're going to thank God. Thank you, Jesus, for everything. Everything. I was going through it, y'all. If y'all didn't know about my videos, sis was struggling over here, okay? Struggling. And now that I'm on the other side of things have definitely made a 180, 360, one of them complete turnaround. Okay, so yes, let's start from the beginning. We got a new house. It's nice. It's bigger than the other house. All thanks to God, we were able to get a house in this competitive 2021 housing market, and it was a seller's market indeed. When we lived in our townhouse, it was a buyer's market. You know, you can bid for the exit price, and it was like cool. You can get an inspection, you can get an appraisal, you can ask for a little bit of this, a little bit of that. It wasn't none of that. This was a completely different situation. It was a lot, but we made it through. We got our nice house. We're good. So first update, you guys already know that I had a baby. She is 7 months this January 11th. Her name is Joy. Here's a picture of my little boo-boo sweetie pie right here. Yes. Oh, should I tell you guys about this story? Okay, I got testimonies on top of testimonies. So that's why I said you might want to grab something to drink because I got a lot of stories to tell. Okay, so boom. The story about Joy. I was going to put this on my Instagram, but I deleted all my social medias. That's another story. I deleted my Instagram, my Facebook. I only have YouTube. I don't know. I just felt like, for me, it's kind of unnecessary. Like, I was just wasting time scrolling. And you know how you get into a pit of despair? Especially with TikTok. I was just scrolling. Spent like, I'm not going to lie. I would spend like 4 hours plus on TikTok. That's not good. Especially like when I was like depressed and stuff like that. I would just, you know how it is. You would stay in the bed and not want to do nothing all day and just scroll on social media. That's how I was. So I deleted everything and I've been a little bit more productive lately, which is good. So yeah, my daughter name is Joy. The story behind her name. So this was in the beginning of my pregnancy, right? Which before I even found out what the gender was. I personally wanted a girl. I wanted a girl. I have a boy already and I wanted a girl. 1 boy, 1 girl, that's it. Okay. Before we even found out what the gender was, I asked God, I said, what should I name my baby? Clear as day, I can hear Joy. I said, oh, so it's gonna be a girl? Yes, it's gonna be a girl. Okay, so, and you know, at that time, I was not having much joy in my life. I'm not gonna lie. I was at a job I hated. Felt like not much was going on for me. My home life was, You ever feel like you're just there and you're not really living, you're just there going, like, my life felt like very mundane. Not that I take life for granted, but like at that time, I was not feeling it. So joy was kind of like, okay, but that's not how I was feeling at all. So it's something probably I wouldn't have chose for real. I'm not gonna lie to you. So I heard Joy and I said, oh, so it's gonna be a girl. So then I told my husband, I said, yeah, I already have a name. And I was kind of scared to tell him. And I was like, yeah, it's going to be Joy. And he was like, how do you know it's gonna be a girl? And I was like, well, God told me Joy, so obviously Joy is a girl name, so it's gonna be a girl. He was like, all right, whatever. So then I go into the store and I buy like a girl blanket. I still don't know what the gender is, okay? We still haven't gotten confirmation from the doctor. In my head, I'm like, it's a girl, duh. You know, even my mother-in-law was like, yeah, I think it's gonna be a girl. But my husband was like, it might be a boy. I want another boy. And I'm like, you already got your boy. Like, so I buy the blanket as like an act of faith. Like, yeah, this is how much confidence I have that it's gonna be a girl. I'm buying a girl blanket. And I brought it before we knew what the gender was. And I had the blanket. I showed up. I said, he saw the blanket in my room. And he was like, really? You buying a girl blanket already? How you know it's gonna be a girl? And I was like, whatever, watch. So then we get the ultrasound. And I told the lady at this door of ultrasound, I said, don't tell me the gender. Do not tell me the gender. I told her, write it in a piece of paper, put it in an envelope so that both me and my husband could, because of course it's during COVID, so nobody could come with me to the doctor's office at that time. So I told her, don't tell me the gender, put it on a piece of paper, put it in the envelope, give it to me, let me go about my way, let me go home, and both me and my husband can experience knowing the gender together. This lady doing the ultrasound, she said, oh, it's a girl. I'm like, and she's like, oh, you told me not to tell me. I was like, yes, but it's okay, whatever, it's all good. So she still wrote it up on a piece of paper, envelope, so I can give it to my husband. I go home. I'm so excited. I'm like, yeah, do it. I go home. I give my husband an envelope. He's like, okay. He's smiling because he knew I was right. I was like, yeah, it's a girl. Her name's gonna be Joy because God told me so. And that's it for the name. That's about it. Okay, so now for the house situation. There's 3 things. Got a baby, new baby. We moved, and I got a new job. Like I said, the market was very competitive. We were seeing so many nice houses. You guys don't even know. It was like every house felt like it was gonna be our house. Not every house. Some houses were like, ugh. Everybody had different needs. So we needed like that perfect house that could fit everybody's need. There was just one house that I absolutely fell in love with. It was huge, nice. It had like a butler, pantry, auto lights. You would walk inside the pantry, it would turn on by itself. It had like 2 sitting rooms in the master bedroom. You would walk inside the closets and the lights would turn on by itself. I was like so in love. I was like, I want this house right here. But we tried twice to get the house. Offer fell through the first time. Second time, the person that did bid on the house, their financial situation fell through. So we told our realtor to hurry up and call them to see if we can get the house. And then they came back with it was a lot of stuff. It was a lot of mess. But we ended up finding a house that we absolutely love and that we can make our own. And I'm super happy about that. The house is big. It's huge. We got a sitting room in our master bedroom. Not 2 sitting rooms. It's just 1 sitting room, but it's all good. A nice island in the kitchen. It's really nice. Everybody has their own room. Their children will have their own room and everything. So yeah, really grateful and thankful about that. Because you guys know anything about the housing market, last year, I don't know, it's probably still going on, but it was super competitive. The prices jumped, okay? You know, all this during a newborn, when I had just had a baby, moving and, you know, selling, it was a lot, but we made it, so it's all good. A couple of years ago, I explained in a video that God had led me to quit my job. That was a very trying time for me. I've never really done something like that for an extended period of time. I didn't work for about a year. I was just basically living off my savings until my savings ran out. And eventually it did, and that's why we had to move out of our townhome. And it was just a lot. Like, nobody close to me understood why I would do something like that. I basically looked crazy in front of everybody. And in retrospect, I understand, but I knew what I heard, and I knew that God was confirming it over and over and over again. Yeah. If you guys know, then you know, like, God will send out a word, and if you're unsure, he will definitely confirm it through external, you know, situations and stuff. So yeah, I quit my job, and then he also led me to donate, you know, a large amount of money to my church, and which, you know, that was difficult as well because it would have left me with like no money. But that's how God tests you. He will test you, okay? So basically ran out of money, and then we were like, okay, we have to move because you're not working, you don't have any money. I'm expecting, like, I'm watching testimonies how people were like, oh yeah, just when I ran out of money, God sent a check in the mail. I would literally look in the mailbox for a check. Like, did somebody random send me a check in the mail so, you know, we could keep this up? But no, like, we had to move. I was so upset. upset, you guys. Like, I was like, wow, I felt betrayed in a sense. I'm being transparent right now. I felt betrayed. And I explained this, in my other video. If you guys want to check it out, I'll leave the clips right there. And it was really hard. Like, it's like the wilderness type of season where I'm not comparing myself to them, of course, but like, I'm giving you an example where God was leading the Israelites through the wilderness, out of Egypt, out of their comfort zone, where they were basically in slavery, and he was leading them to the promised land, and they had to trust him wholeheartedly. And it was really difficult because they did not trust him. They said, oh, you're trying to kill us out here, let us go back where we at least had meat and da-da-da. But they were slaves back there, and it was not a good life, and he was trying to lead them to a better life, but they couldn't trust him. A wilderness season, like, you don't know exactly what's going on, and you don't know why everything around you seems to be falling apart, but you literally have one thing to hold on to, and it's God's word. He's literally told me to trust him, and it's like, my outside situations ain't looking right. Like, how can I trust you? I donated some money. I quit my job. I wasn't working. And then this was right when the pandemic hit, when I ran out of money. Let me tell you how God worked. I'm expecting something different. I'm expecting some money to come through the mail. This is how he did it. The pandemic hits. I ain't got no money to pay, to help pay for the mortgage or my bills or anything like that. And, I explained to my husband, I said, yeah, I'm looking for a job. It's kind of hard right now because this whole pandemic situation is starting to happen, which, oh my gosh, everything was shutting down. You guys know 2020, everything was shutting down. Jobs, people were getting fired, okay? People were getting furloughed. And I'm over here trying to look for a job finally after, almost a year of not working. And I'm just like, why would God do this to me? But this is what happened. Mortgage companies were letting people not pay their mortgage for a few months, right when I had ran out of money. Therefore, we didn't have to pay our mortgage. And that's when we sold our house. It's just so funny how it worked. It like literally worked out perfectly, the timing of it. So right when I ran out of money, mortgage people sent us a letter in the mail. If you've been affected by COVID, you don't have to pay your mortgage. And it was like, wow, okay. My car note, of course, I have a car note. Car company says, you don't have to pay your car note if you've been affected by COVID. That means I had no bills to pay. That's how God works. So it was just, the timing of it was just like, my husband was like, what were you gonna do? And I was like, I said I had no clue. I had no clue. I didn't have any money. And I was starting to look for a job. Of course, I couldn't find one because people were losing their jobs. How was I gonna find a job? So many jobs that fell through. Oh my gosh, it was ridiculous. I'm gonna get into that in the job situation in a second, but that's how it worked out. So we sold our townhouse. We moved back to his mother's house. I ain't never packed up, sold a house so quick in my life. We were gonna do those express home buyers, but the realtor is a godsend too. He was a Christian too. It's so funny. He just ended up being our realtor. But he said, I don't think you should do express home buyers. I think your townhouse is worth more than that. We're gonna try to sell it. So we had to hurry up. We were packing at the speed of light. Everything was gone. We repainted the house. The house looks so nice. Oh my gosh, I love that townhouse. I'm not gonna lie, I loved it. It was just like my style and everything, but we had to go. So we packed up everything we got that home emptied out. It was completely empty. We moved out everything. We were going back and forth, moving all our stuff, putting our stuff in the storage unit, putting our stuff back in our mother-in-law's house. And we got the house sold quick. There were so many offers on that house. It wasn't even funny. And we got more than what, we expected. We was like, wow. And we were like, it's so funny, during that time frame, we were one of the first ones that started selling our house in 2020. And then all of a sudden, everybody was selling their house. It was crazy. So yeah, we sold our townhouse, and that was it. I'm not gonna lie, it was a surreal moment, but I didn't know what was gonna happen in the future. But I stood in my townhouse, like my empty townhouse, and I was just like, if I could be transparent with you guys, I was so upset because the situation was unreal to me. I was like, how could this one decision that I made that I know you told me to do ended up like this? And I screamed. I was like, I hate you, God. Like, for real. Like, I cannot believe this is happening to me right now. Like, because that was like the first home that me and my husband owned, and I picked it out. And yeah, it was getting too small. We were outgrowing it, but I didn't expect to. We only been living there for a couple of years, and I didn't expect to like leave like on that note. So it was very emotional for me. Fast forward, eventually I did find a job at another call center. If you guys don't know, the whole reason why this even started was because I asked God to get me out of the previous call center that I was working at because I hated it that much. I hated working at a call center. I just didn't like it. Always being yelled at by patients, always being yelled at by doctors. If you didn't know, I worked as a pharmacy technician in a call center for a PBM. And if you know, then you know, it could be very stressful at times. And I just didn't want to work for a call center. That's why I was working towards, I've got my bachelor's degree and I was working on my master's. I actually graduated with my master's degree in 2020, May of 2020. And I'm not going to say the job was all bad. I feel like everything is a stepping stone to where God is going to lead you. As I told you guys in a previous video, one day somebody had made me upset on the phone. I think it was a doctor. Matter of fact. And I got in my car, and as I was picking up my son, I didn't even have a relationship with God back then, which is so funny how after that moment I would develop a relationship with God. But I didn't even have a relationship with God back then. But I knew he was like, if you're real, you're like my only hope at this point of getting out of here. And I screamed in my car. I was crying. I said, get me out of here. I was so upset. And after that moment, that's when everything started to change. So yeah, so I'm looking for another job. You guys, oh my gosh. The amount of applications I filled out during 2020, and oh my gosh. Even when I was at my other job, like I was just like, it's so difficult to get a job. Like, it's not even funny. So many things building, but it's all good. It's all good. I'm gonna catch you guys up. So I'm applying to jobs. The only job that calls me back is another call center. I said, I have to work. I haven't been working for a year. This ain't gonna fly no more. Like, I have to start working again. So I interviewed. I got the job. The pay is significantly less than the other job that I hated. The other job that I hated, the pay was more than what the average pharmacy technician would make, I have to admit. So I already knew I was not going to get that type of pay no more. I was like, okay, I'm probably not even going to get another job that pays as well anymore. But it didn't have any benefits, no benefits whatsoever. It was an independent contractor type of job. So I had to do my own taxes. So that at the end of the day, it really costs you more money because you have to get your own benefits. And you have to pay for your own social security tax, which your employer usually pays for half. And you have to pay your taxes quarterly. If you don't do that, you get penalized. So in actuality, yeah, it paid more, but it kind of even out with all the other extra stuff that you have to do yourself since you're an independent contractor. That's how they kind of get you. But anyways, this job, I got an interview and I was contemplating, I'm like, this is like a setback to me. That's what I was thinking in my head. Like, this is such a setback to me. This is like what I was getting paid before my other job. Like, and I had just graduated with my master's degree, mind you, and I'm going back to a job that pays way less and I'm still in a call center. I took the job because that was on the only, like, it was so like ridiculous during 2020 trying to get a job. I was like, I can't play around. I need a job. So I took it. And could we be transparent right now? The job was worse than my last job. It was worse. God was testing your girl. He was testing your girl. The job was, do you hear me? Worse. It was worse than my other job that I was crying to God about to get me out of. That I quit trying to trust him. And I said, I can't do this no more. We just sold our house. I need to get a job. The only job I could be able to get at that point, because nobody else, all the interviews were like falling through. And then one employer was like, oh, you got a gap? Like, what do you have a gap? So I had to like make up something because I'm like, what am I going to tell you? God told me to quit my job. That's why I have a year gap in my resume. Girl, it was a mess. I was upset. I was upset, depressed, and like almost every day I would cry about my situation. I'm not even playing. But like, okay, so I'm still in the call center. I hated this job, y'all. I'm not gonna hold you. I hated this job. First of all, not only was it call center, but I had to do chats at the same time. I've never experienced that in my life. Do you know how difficult it is to talk on the phone and read a chat and try to reply to a chat at the same time? So it was that. In addition to that, I felt like I wasn't well equipped to answer some of these questions people would ask me sometimes. Anyway, this is a whole, I ain't gonna go into details, but I did not like it at all. And I was sitting up here working a call center, working way less than I did before with a master's degree. Your girl was done, okay? And then when I first started working, there would be times, like a lot of times, where I would be stuck on the phone with somebody after I get off at 5, at way past 5 o'clock. 5:30, 5:40, 5:15. I'm like, okay, I have to get my children from daycare. Like, what is the meaning of this? I could not stand it, y'all. I would like literally jump in the bed and just cry because I could not believe like my situation at that point. Like, I thought God hated me for a second. I'm like, yo, like what's going on? Like, I was just obeying you, and then like, how did I get in this situation? I'm looking for another job. At this point, about 6 months in, I'm pregnant. I'm looking for another job. I don't care. I'm looking for another job. I'm applying. Rejections left and right. And I'm like, I can't do this no more. I was so stressed. Even like pregnant, I was stressed. I was like, okay, Monique, you're gonna have to calm down because now you're pregnant and you crying every day. Like, it's too much. Like, you can't be stressing yourself out like that. So I go on maternity leave and I swore up and down. I said, I'm not coming back. I'm gonna have a new job. I'm not coming back after my maternity leave. Bye. Somebody had contacted me through Indeed, and I guess it was like a third party type of agency. What do they call those? It was an agency. It wasn't the actual like directly employed through the people, and it was like a temporary job. So he said, oh, I have an opportunity, da da da. And he was pressing me. He's like, yeah, send me your information so I can send it out to the hiring manager, so we can set up an interview. And yeah, he was like so pressed. So I sent him my stuff. I said, okay, boo. So I said, yes, I'm about to get up out of here. He set up an interview. I actually interviewed with the manager. She seemed cool. I described to her what I did. She described to me the job. She said, okay, so she said, it's temporary for 3 months. You get no benefits, just to see if, just to weigh things out or whatever. And then I think, what is it called? Temp to hire or something like that. We could possibly hire you permanently full time. And then she asked me, okay, so why would you want to leave your permanent job to go to this? Well, I said, well, you said most likely it would be permanent full time. So I'm willing, to take that risk and whatever, and I think my abilities will prove that you guys will want to keep me or whatever. So she seemed to really like me. So I'm like, okay, yes. Mind you, I'm doing this interview while pregnant. She doesn't know I'm pregnant, okay? I'm mixing up the timeline. This interview was before my maternity leave because I was trying to hurry up and leave. Let me tell y'all, it was in May. The interview was in May. I was going to give birth the next month. I was going to be willing to forego maternity leave just so I could get another job. That's how desperate I was. I said, okay, I'm going to tell them I need like a month notice or something more extended than 2 weeks so that I could hurry up and give birth and then transition to the new job. It's so ridiculous. Now that I think about it, it's so ridiculous. Like, you need to stay at home and spend time with your baby and heal. Like, what's wrong with you? So, and I did this interview. I hurried up and did this interview after my doctor's appointment. And of course, the one time I had something to do afterwards, they're taking mad long at the office. And I'm like, oh my gosh, my interview's about to come. Like, and it's a Zoom call. So I'm like, if y'all don't hurry up. And of course, at the nick of time, like, I was a few minutes late. And I went outside to the back of the office. They had like a little nice, area, like a sitting area. And I hurried up and went outside and did the Zoom call. And I was literally outside pregnant. And of course, I wasn't showing my stomach. I just showed my face. Your girl went through some things, okay? So I did my interview. I was pregnant. I told her, yeah, I'm gonna need a few weeks to give notice or whatever. And I figured they wouldn't, make a decision right away anyway. So that would give me some time. So yeah, the guy calls me that was doing, that was basically the middleman. He said, yeah, the manager really liked you and she would like to hire you or whatever, and I'll talk to you soon to give you more details and to give you your offer letter and stuff. I said, okay, cool. Yes, I'm so excited. I'm telling everybody I got a new job. Yay! Da, da, da. I told my sister, I told my husband, I told everybody, I said, I got a new job. Yes, I'm finally leaving. And I'm texting the guy because we've been communicating via text. So I'm texting the guy, hey, it's been a few days. Hey, I haven't heard back from you. Call me when you get a chance so we can discuss, the job offer or whatever. No response. Mind you, before I told you he was pressing me, right, to respond to him to get this process going for the interview and stuff. No response. Okay, call him. Ring, 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 ring. No response. Call him again. No response. Text him. No response. A word? So you offered me a job and now you're not responding. I was upset. Of course I was upset. I don't even have to go into that. I was upset. He never responded back to me, never got back to me. So that basically fell through, even though he said, we're going to offer you the job, give me some time to, get your offer letters together. And you know what? In hindsight, I am very glad it not go through because like they said, it was a temporary job. You possibly wouldn't have a job after 3 months anyways. And it was, during that time frame, you're not a full employee. So you wouldn't get any benefits or anything for like 3 months. And then after 3 months, you might not even have a job. So I'm glad it fell through in hindsight, but it just messed. It was all this together compounded was just like blowing me. Okay. I was so mad because I was so ready to get out of there and I did not want to come back to my job after having a baby. So I'm still applying for other jobs and stuff like that. And my maternity leave ends and I'm back at the call center. At this point, I already told you guys, my relationship with God was strained. I would not pray. I barely read the Bible. I barely went to church. I was upset. I didn't understand what was going on. It felt like I got bamboozled almost. It felt like, you told me to do this thing, and there was a promise behind it, but it's nothing is working out. I'm back at the job. I've adapted a little bit more than when I first got there. So the days were just going by. Fast forward several months later, I get another call for an interview for an FDA job. I was like, yes. Government job, the benefits are about to be nice. And I couldn't even believe that I got a call for an interview because if you know, government jobs are really difficult to get. They're so difficult to get. I've been applying for government jobs for a minute, okay? And I got an interview. My husband wasn't even impressed. He was like, wow, you actually got an interview with a government job? That's good. I was like, yes. I studied so hard for this interview. You guys don't even know. I was reading all type of interview books. I was practicing. I even typed out potential interview questions and my answers. That's how serious I was. I was so desperate to get out of my other job. I was not playing, okay? So I study. I'm studying these interview questions. Come time for my interview, I bombed that interview so hard. It was so bad, y'all. Oh my gosh. You ever just start talking and start making up stuff because you don't know what to say? That's how it was for me. I was like, I messed it up so bad. None of the questions that I studied for, they did not ask me one of those questions. They didn't even ask me, tell me about yourself. I was so upset. They didn't even ask me, tell me about. None of the questions that I studied for, they did not ask me not one of those questions. I was like, what kind of interview is this? They were more so behavioral questions. Give me an example of this. And I've never been in those type of situations. What am I going to tell you? That interview was horrible. And I could tell that they were like, nah. And she was like, okay, we'll call you if you want another interview with you. If we don't call you, then obviously, we're not moving forward and stuff like that. I said, okay, thanks. I knew they wasn't going to call me yet. That interview sucked so much. I got a couple weeks later, I had a dream. I thought it was about this FDA job. I had a dream that I was on a call, a Zoom call, I can see virtually. It was me being interviewed and it was me with my what would be coworkers. The manager in the dream was telling me, yeah, you got the job. And, she was sending me an email. She was like, yeah, I meant to get back to you. You got the job. And, stuff like that. And I got so excited, you guys. I was like, okay, this is God telling me I'm about to get the FDA job that I did horribly on with the interview. I thought it was. A few months go by. They never called me. I'm still at my call center job. I'm still looking for other jobs. And Nothing is happening, you guys. So, you know, after a while, you just give up. So there were times I wasn't applying for jobs. I just gave up after a while, and the dream, I just shoved it to the back of my head. I was so sure that it was about the FDA job. I said, ooh, I'm about to get this FDA job. And I kept checking on the status. I kept checking, nothing. And it was several months. And I was like, obviously, I did not get that job. Like, girl, like, give it up. Several months later, I've never experienced this in my life. We were so busy at this call center. It was a period of time when like everybody was trying to get something done. And I was pumping breast milk at this point. I couldn't even pump. Let me tell you how busy we were. The moment I clocked in and got on the phone until the moment I clocked out, I was on that phone for 8 hours. Back to back to back to back phone calls. I'm not over exaggerating. That's how it was for everybody in the call center. I was so stressed, you guys. I couldn't do anything. I couldn't even pump my breast milk, okay? Like I would usually do. And my supply dropped. We did not get a break from the phone calls besides our lunch and our usual breaks. I'm saying when you logged back in, you were on the phone until you logged out for the day. I've never been on the phone so much in my life. And that just made me hated call center. So I said, I never want to be on a phone ever again in my life. Like, I thank God for it. You know why? Because I was looking for jobs I was looking for jobs. I was like, I am not tolerating this anymore. I was looking for jobs. I said, okay, let me get back into the swing of things and start applying for jobs because this is stressing me out so much. I can't even pump my breast milk no more. And after a while, I just quit. Like I said, okay, I'm gonna try to boost my supply real quick to pump and freeze as much milk as I can because after this, I'm not pumping no more. This is too much. My supply dropped and I quit pumping. So I was looking for jobs because of that stressful situation. So I applied to this one job. I didn't really think nothing much of it. I was just applying for jobs. I was making sure they weren't call center. I got an email one fateful day. Hey, we received your job application. Are you interested in an interview? I was like, what? Of course. I replied yes. Get the interview. I interviewed during my lunch break. I interviewed during my lunch break because I didn't really have any days off because I had to use up all my PTO for my maternity leave. So I interviewed during my lunch break and, you interview with, the recruiter or whatever. And then I interviewed with the manager and the director. And then there's a third interview with the coworkers. With my potential coworkers, a video interview. She said, so after I interview with the manager and the director, she goes, so your next interview is going to be with the rest of the team, and it's going to be a video interview. We want the team to meet you and, have a say and, see what they think about you. And it's going to be a video interview. A video interview with the team? That's kind of odd. Remember what I told you guys about my dream? How I thought it was the FDA job? The FDA job was not a video interview. It was a phone interview, and it was not with, the team members that would be in the same position as me. It was with managers and directors and stuff. And remember how I told you I thought that's what the dream was about? The dream was about this job. So I video interview with the team. I see everybody. The puzzle pieces are connecting. I go, I used to work here. One team member says, oh, really? I used to work there too. And I'm like, wow. And I go, yeah, I have a degree in healthcare administration. Another coworker goes, you have a degree in that? I'm getting a degree in that too. It was, girl, it was just so funny. I was like, oh, wow. And I'm like, yeah. So it's a video interview with my potential coworkers. I was like, oh my gosh, this was what the dream was about. A week went by. I hear nothing from them. I'm still working. I'm still applying for other jobs. I'm still getting rejections from other jobs. Okay. And, I'm just like, wow, I was obsessed too. I kept checking to see if the ad about the job posting was gone. I kept checking like on my status online to see if that's updated. Nothing. And then one fateful day, I'm complaining to my husband. I'm like, Sean, I haven't heard anything from them. Should I reach out to them? It's been a week. It's been like literally exactly 1 week since I got an interview with them. He was like, yeah, reach out to them. And I was like, oh, okay. So I sent an email to the recruiter. I said, how they, when you Google, how do I make a follow-up? I think I would, be an awesome fit for the team. I didn't say awesome, but I structure it formally. I think I would be a nice fit for the team. Thank you for the interview. And it was nice meeting everybody. And, and she's like, when I get a status, I'll get back to you. I'm like, okay, cool. So the next day, either the next day or the same day, she calls me. Ring, ring, ring. Said hello. Hey, Monique. So how did you think that your interview went? I said, yeah, I think it went nice, you know. Got to meet the coworkers and the manager and the team and stuff. They seem really lovely. You know, I think I would make a great addition to the team. And she's like, well, we would like to offer you the job. Y'all, I was so excited. Y'all don't even know. It like literally melted away everything that I've been through, all the stress, the emotional roller coasters for this one moment. She said, we would like to extend the offer to you. Mind you, in my little brain, I said, I will take anything to leave. I don't care what the pay is. You know what I'm saying? The pay could be the same. If I'm not at a call center, that's a bonus. I don't care. And I said, I know I'm not going to get a job that pays more than my previous job. I was like, I'm not going to get paid more than that. So you might as well get that. I already had that out of my head. I'm like, I'm never going to get paid more than that. So it's probably going to be less. She tells me what the pay is. I held the phone like this and I was shook. It paid more than my previous job. I was so shocked. I was like, oh my gosh. If I tell you it paid more than my previous job that paid way more than the current job that I'm at now, you know it was good. So she said, is that fine? I said, yeah, that's fine. I'm trying to play it cool. Yeah, that's fine. But then, you know, the job I was at now, I was trying to negotiate the pay. I said, okay, is the pay negotiable? She goes, no. I'm like, wow. The pay wasn't even negotiable. And it was a low pay. And this job, she asked me if the pay was fine. And I said, yeah. I got the job, y'all. I got my dream job. After my probational period, it's going to be work from home. I'm not in a call center. Hallelujah. Amen. I'm not in a call center. Nothing's wrong with that, but I've been in the call center for several years. I'm tired of it, okay? I'm no more. That's exactly why I went to schools, because I said I don't want a call center job anymore. Flex hours. I could basically come in between, you know, certain hours. I'm sorry. I'm literally basking in this blessing because, like, God literally did it. He literally did it. Like, and like, I just put on, you know, that elevation worship song, I'm gonna see a victory. I just put that on and I was just thanking him. At the time, I was still at my old job. I was still at the job. I was still there for several months after that. But he was telling me, you're gonna see a victory. You're gonna see a victory. And then I would see that all the time. It's so funny when God tells you something. He's so funny. He would tell you something and then you would see it everywhere. It's like I saw somebody wearing that shirt, you know, that said victory. My husband came up to me. I told him about like, oh, I found these items at the store. He's like, oh, I'm glad for your victory. I'm like, what? I was taken aback. I was like, huh? First of all, why would you even say that? That's so, who says that? If I tell you something casual, like, oh, I found this at the store, I'm so happy. And they say, oh, I'm glad for your victory. And I knew that was God, like, talking to, confirming what he already told me. Like, oh my gosh, it's so crazy. But, you know, as I was moving, I declared over myself. I said, God is not going to allow us to move to a bigger and better house, obviously more expensive, y'all, without me having a better job to be able to afford this properly, okay? Like I said, I know. So I had the house before the job, and I was like, this don't make no sense. I was expecting the job before the house, for real. God, I know you're not going to bless us with this house. And I'm still working at this job. Like, no, I know you're going to do it. Like, a little inkling in me had a little bit of hope, but I was on the outside. I was just sad, depressed. Like, I love this job. You know, I love the people there. I love my manager. She's mad cool. Like, this is like my dream, like, big girl career job. Like, I'm in, you know, the degree that I worked hard for. I'm finally in my proper place for it. You know what I'm saying? Like, I'm really happy. Not to say that life is about material things, but at the same breath, God knows the desires of your heart. So I'm going to give you some encouragement, because God always he impressed upon me to make a testimony video. So I know there's somebody out there that needs to hear this, testimony, that needs to hear what God has brought me through, so that you can have hope. Whatever God has promised you, I don't care if your situation looks upside down. I have been through that, where you did what God told you to do and all of a sudden everything fell apart and everybody looking at you like you crazy and like, why would you even believe in God? Why would you even trust God? Look what he did. Like, you prayed for something and then the opposite happened. I know there's somebody out there that's going through that. Because there always is. Because he doesn't just brings you through a situation just for you. No, it's also, yeah, it's for you, but it's also to help somebody else. That's how unselfish God is. He's not going to use the situation just to bless me. He's going to bless somebody else out there. So if you're also going through that, I promise you that God is a promise keeper and that he will come through for you. I know the situation might look horrible. You might feel betrayed. You might be upset. You might be angry at God. I was angry with him, okay? He flipped it upside down so he can flip it right side up again properly, okay? And Ephesians 3:20, that was my verse, y'all. Like, and it kept coming up as I was in that process in the beginning stages. That verse kept coming up. God will do abundantly more than you can ask, think for, or imagine, and it is true. Just hold on. Like, promise you, it's gonna happen soon. And God loves to bless his children because he knows when he brings you through that mud, through that dirt, that you're gonna appreciate it more on the other side. When I told my husband, yo, my job has this, my job has that, he was like, man, I been had that. I never had that before, okay? So I'm excited, I am joyful, I'm happy. Every day I'm thanking him still. And I've been here for like a month. I'm still thanking him. I'm still like, thank you, I appreciate it so much. I'm so grateful. You know, because he knows you're gonna appreciate, you're gonna have a newfound appreciation, okay, for it. Because you've been through that. You know how it is on the other side. And you can also help other people. People have been sending me messages on Instagram that I don't even know. They said, God presses upon me to send this message to you. They would send me Bible verses. They would send me songs. They didn't know me, but God still thought about me. Like, what? Still thought to give me encouragement, even though I was upset with him. And it was like, okay, still gave me that little sliver of hope. So if you're out there going through a similar situation as I did, where God, you know, where you went to God for something and he promised you something, he told you to do something, you obeyed, and all of a sudden all hell broke loose, it's supposed to happen like that. I'm just saying, don't be surprised. Just keep on trekking. It took me a couple years to get to this point, okay? Oh, and then the story of, how could I forget? Thank you for reminding me. The story of Joseph. That story is keen to my heart. And what's her name? Wande? She said, she said God woke her up one day at her sleep, like 1, 2, 3 o'clock in the morning, and said, do a Bible study on Instagram Live on the story of Joseph. And that story is already close to me because of something that happened in the past. I can't really get into this. This video is already long. And I knew that was for me. I didn't say it was only for me, but you know something is, a message is for you, you know. So I said, I knew this is for me. You know how God gave Joseph a dream and he was all boastful and he told me, I had a similar situation. Where I had a dream and I just blabbed about it. It's on my YouTube channel, actually. And he just blabbed about it. He's like, yeah, God gave me a dream that I was gonna be above y'all and all this. He was a little prideful, a little immature in his faith. My man got sold into slavery after that. Like, what? How you gonna show me a dream of me doing this, doing big things, doing great things, and I'm in the dungeon? You think Joseph didn't feel the type of way? That's how the situation is. God will show you something that all of a sudden the process it takes to get to that point looks the opposite. So that's what I'm trying to tell you. Do not be surprised. Look at the story of Joseph. He still kept his faith. He still believed in God. Ooh, and then when he thought he was about to get out, he said, don't forget to, he told, the baker, don't forget to tell them about me who interpreted your dreams. So get me out of here, okay? They forgot about him. Joseph probably said, yeah, I'm finally getting out. That's how I felt too when I had that interview. And they said, yeah, we're going to give you a job offer. And they never called me back. They forgot about me. I feel like that too. I said, just when I thought I was getting out, I was getting excited. I was like, yes, I'm leaving this place. Nothing. Until several months later. Joseph didn't finally get out until several years later. Don't lose faith. Do not be surprised if things start turning upside down. It's quite normal. And I feel you at the moment. It doesn't feel good. It doesn't feel nice. I know, but just keep trying to push and you will see the other side of it eventually. And you'll be so happy that you will forget about your troubles, okay? That is my life update, you guys. Very different from the previous life update. So funny. I suggest you watch that. and then come back to this because it will just piece everything back together. But yeah, that's it, you guys. Sorry I've been gone for so long. Hopefully I can get back into the swing of things and start making more videos consistently. I miss you guys. I miss making videos. I'm not gonna lie. It's kind of nice. So I promised you guys an astrology video. I have one video pending that I never put up, and then I want to do like my recommendations for Christian books that you need like when you're first starting and stuff. See my little bookshelf. Yeah, so yeah, expect some videos to come. Thank you guys for watching. Take care. I love you all. Stay blessed and stay faithful because God surely is faithful. Okay, bye.